The next generation is us. We, as teenagers right now, are going to shape the future. But what kind of future will we create if we continue to limit ourselves and others with gender roles and stereotypes? The choices made today will affect our many tomorrows. As a society, we aren't letting others fully explore into their passion with our very outdated gender stereotypes. In this world, we're shocked when we see a male ballerina or a dancer, or a female engineer even. And these stereotypes start from the very early stages of life. It starts from the toys we play with, or the colors we wear, or the subjects we take, or the sports we play. But what if we gave every child enough support to follow their passion without bias? This speech will further explore the power of allowing both boys and girls to explore into their full range of interests without the constant societal pressure being applied on them. Without the fear of judgment, every kid should be able to pursue their passion. The question of, will I get made fun of if I do this? Or is this too feminine? Or is this too masculine? Should no longer be a question. And by embracing this, we can create more stronger individuals. And not only that, but we can create a more innovative, equitable, and a balanced society. Now, going back to the beginning, if I asked you to think of an engineer, you think of a man, right? Or if I asked you to think of a ballerina or a dancer, you think of a woman. Now, the reason behind this is masculine and feminine jobs. Masculine and feminine jobs are the main reason why limitations exist in today's world. When both boys and girls are given the same opportunities in their area of interest, they often perform really well and maybe better than the expected gender for that job. For example, if a girl who's really interested in the STEM subjects is given the same opportunities as a boy, they often perform equally well. A very good example of this can be Bridget Mendler. Bridget Mendler is a Harvard Law graduate who also has a PhD in MIT involving technologies. And now she's a co-founder of a multi-billionaire space company. Bridget Mendler is a very inspiring role model for young girls who want to pursue STEM subjects but are too afraid of the questions that they will get from the society, such as, isn't technology too hard for girls, or shouldn't that be more of a masculine job? Now, maybe this is the reason why I didn't really pursue STEM subjects in my high school life. I remember when I was younger in my old school, we had a coding class. And in that coding class, even though the teacher didn't really say anything about it, he always tried to get boys to pursue technology and coding, but he never really said anything to the girls or tried to get girls to pursue technologies. And maybe that's the reason why I'm not interested in this. Now, moving forward for boys, societal pressure can look a lot different on boys than girls. In this world, when we see a male ballerina or a dancer, we think it's different. We think it's odd, we think it's weird, right? But that's not the case at all. There are various role models in this world that go against this point, such as Tan Satürk. Tan Satürk is a ballerina and a dancer who has his own ballet and dance company that I actually attended to for 7 years and was completely drawn by all his work of art and his passion for dance and ballet. Now, looking at both Bridget Mendler and Tan Satürk, they have one thing in common, and it's their passion for the subjects that they pursued. It's not their gender that made them successful in these areas. It's their passion. And the pattern is clear. If you're passionate about something, your gender doesn't really matter. Now, moving forward, when I was younger, when I was about in 3rd or 4th grade, we had a basketball tournament in my school. And I remember my best friend being so interested in basketball. However, even though the rules didn't specify that girls couldn't participate in this tournament, the coordinator of this tournament hardly allowed her to get in. And when she finally got on the team, she didn't even play. And no one said a thing about it. This experience made me realize how gender equality doesn't exist in sports. Even though there's various successful basketball players that are women, they're often discriminated in the industry due to their weaknesses or them not being as good as guys. And this is not the case in just basketball. It's the case in many other sports. A very good example of this can be maybe running. Now, phrases against running. There are a lot of phrases against girl runners in this world. For example, running like a girl. If you think about it, running like a girl has a very degrading connotation in a very wrong context. It's used as an insult in the society. It's used as insisting that someone's slow and they run womanly, they run slowly, they run weirdly. And this is not the case at all. A commercial done by the Super Bowl asked people what running like a girl looks like.
Show me what it looks like.
Now, as you've seen in this video, they perform the act running like a girl as very slowly, very as a joke, and very degrading, honestly. Girls don't run like this, and this phrase should not be used to insult other people on running, insisting that they're slow. Running like a girl doesn't mean that they're slow or they're not good, and that's not the case at all. Now, the example that I'm going to give is a little different than the first two examples. I can pinpoint a specific moment in my life where I realized how early gender stereotypes are imposed on us. I come from quite a big of a family with both boy and girl cousins. And every time there was a family gathering and there was setting up the table or cooking to be done, me and my girl cousin was called over to help by my elderly relatives to help with cooking or setting up the table along with the females in my family. And my boy cousin was just left there to chill, including the males in my family. Now here's the kicker. My male cousin was actually 3 years older than me, and he was much more capable of setting up the table or cooking than me or my girl cousin. At the time, I didn't question it. I just thought that was the way things were. But as I got older, I realized how early gender stereotypes are reinforced on us by these subtle moves of everyday life. Without anyone directly telling us anything, the roles are clear, right? Girls are supposed to help with housework while boys are just exempt from these tasks. And by doing so, you create this image of what's appropriate for boys to do and what's appropriate for girls to do. However, I grew up in a household where, regardless of the elderly relatives in my family, my parents never enforced these stereotypes on me. It wasn't in my household. It was never the case where my mom had to do all the work and my dad didn't care about it. It was never my mom had to do all the cleaning and all the cooking while my dad was just, like watching the TV. My parents, the reason why I grew up like this was because of my parents. And I can't imagine where I grew up in another way and I had a different perspective on this topic. So, I'm asking everyone who's listening to this speech right now to be more cautious of the words you use or the actions you take with little kids or teenagers, because you don't know how deeply it will scar them for the rest of their life and what they will do in the future. Thank you.